this one. Okay. So what do we have now? So let me share the other screen. Well, it should be the same screen. Okay, so if I switch to so this is the microscope view, okay? And then we would also have the laser Doppler view and the laser speckle view. Okay, then so I'm going to switch between this. Okay, and then when I'm doing the demonstration, I probably won't be able to really see your question in the chatting. So please put the question into the Q&A, then I'll try to answer that after the demonstration. Okay, and so I'm going to switch to the scope view first. So can everybody see it? Okay. Let me make it a little bit darker. Okay. Okay. So our core get the dual head Zeiss microscope. And so I already prepped the animal here. And then to monitor for the animal, one important thing is you want to keep it warm, okay? And then so the way we do that is we put on the monitor a heating pad system. And so we can monitor its temperature, okay? And then so you see that right now it's probably too hot. And it's because of it has been lying down here for a couple minutes. And also the draping thing will keep the animal hot, okay? And then so let's try to cool it down a little bit. Okay, and so the animal is on prone position, and so what you see here it's the skin over the skull, and its eyes are here, hiding in there. Okay, and then so I kind of mixed the procedure together today because in general, if you are doing laser Doppler monitoring, then you have to glue the adapter on, and with that you cannot really do the laser speckle. Okay, then so what I'm going to do would be I'll just clean up, open the skin, and then expose the skull to the laser speckle imaging first. Let you see the cerebral blood flow imaging before the middle cerebral artery occlusion. Then I'll put the probe on for laser Doppler, and then doing the middle cerebral artery occlusion. Then after that, I'll remove the adapter and do the laser speckle imaging again, okay? So the first thing, of course, you have to expose the skull. So you want to cut between ears to almost between its eyes, okay? And for today's demonstration, I might cut the opening a little bigger so you guys can see it better. And after you open this up, you will see, let me see, is it focus for you guys? You see this shiny, soft tissue on the skull, okay? And then in mice, you don't have to thin the skull, okay? You can do laser speckle or laser Doppler directly on mouse skull. You don't have to make them thinner for that. And you can see that when it's still moisturized. Let me zoom in for you guys. When it's still moisturized, you can roughly see the blood vessel laying underneath, okay? But when it starts to get dried out, and then it loses its transparency. And then we're going to do both sides for laser speckle. So that's why I have to clean up this side too. Otherwise, if we just doing laser Doppler for MCAO, for here is good enough, okay? And so here's the landmark. Let me use the retractor to pull the skin away. Okay, and you want to clean up this soft tissue. So later on, you can glue the adapter on, otherwise it will fall off easily. So here you can see the britma here and the middle fusion line here, okay? And then let me clean this up a little bit more, okay? And then behind this would be the cerebellum, and we do not really do study about it. So I'm going to leave the opening like this, and so we can see the both side of hemisphere. Okay, and you see here's the edge of the skull, and here's the muscle. Okay, okay, and then let me see, because of the light, to me it's pretty. Can you guys see it well, or it's too bright for you guys? Is that better? Okay. Okay, and then now I'm going to switch to the laser speckle view. Okay, and so for the interface, you will see you can get 4 views. So one is the real picture, the other one is the pseudo color pattern, and the speckle pattern, and the overlay pattern. Okay, and on the right side, you will see the curve and the number of your ROI. And here is if you are doing some diameter measurement, you can see that. And the interface is pretty straightforward. So the first thing, let's go online. Okay, then so you will see the picture there. Okay, and then I do not really look at the overlay and the speckle pattern. So I'm more interested in the real pattern and the pseudo color pattern, okay? But here, you would also see like a red dot here. So that's the indicator point. And so you want it kind of on the top of the area, okay? And then you also, the machine can be moved up or down, okay? Then what are you going to do is you should put the machine's position to let the indicator is in the middle, okay? And the first thing is we can do the autofocus. And so it would try to focus by itself. Okay, so I think we have some problem here. This animal probably dead because we prepared this too early for the procedure. So uh, I will have to prepare animals for you guys that we can still talk about it when doing this. And so maybe the RWD people, can you guys take over the meeting for 5 minutes? So I'll prepare another animal. And so in order to save time, so we start the anesthesia early. And I think I just take too much time for the presentation. So the animal actually die because of probably the overdose of anesthesia. Okay, then so I'm going to switch to the Doppler view, and then you guys can chat with each other or with RWD's people. Okay, then I'll be right back and get ammo ready in 5 minutes. Okay, and and then there are a couple settings you can do here. So I'm choosing the HD imaging one. Okay, and then in order to make you guys see this image better, so I'm going to set off the white light. The animal is 20 weeks old. And then indicator of, okay. And then I don't really need a real pattern. So if we click no real pattern, apply, okay, so you see the picture become bigger, right? And then we can do some threshold setting to improve the imaging. Okay, and then so it's all depends on what do you want to look at. Okay, and you will see sometimes the right side is a little wimpy. It's because of it's deeper down there. So if you want to have perfect imaging, then you should really level the animal. But today, since our main point is to do the MCAO, so I do not really try to level the animal perfectly. Okay, and also if you want to get super good resolution, and you can do the craniectomy to create the window, remove the skull. Okay, we have do that. We have done that before, so we can see very small blood vessel clearly. Okay, and then so that's let me make it a little stronger. Then click OK, and just let it focus again by itself. So that's why I cannot do. So if I turn that back on and then look at the real pattern and let it do it again, we should get better view. Here we go. Okay, and then what I can show you is we can apply an ROI, for example. If I'm interested in this area, and you see the right side will start to give you the flow. And if you, then you can apply the second area. On the other side, the control side, you see it give you the second area view very well. Okay, and like I said, if it's laser Doppler, you can, depends on how many probes you have. And also, you don't really know which blood vessel you are really looking at. Okay, and then so what I can show you now is I can try to increase the isoflurane anesthesia concentration, and that should significantly reduce the blood flow. So let's see that. So I crank up the isoflurane, and then meanwhile, we can record it. So we will do a continue. For 2 minutes. So here is you can start record, then it will ask you where do you want to put it. Okay, then we start to record that. And you see it's starting with somewhere around 300, right? For red line, and for the black line, starting from somewhere around 350. And right now you see start to see some effect You see the red line dropping. And if you look at the area, look at the imaging by itself, okay? And online, then if you want to look at the specific area, you just need to point at it. It will give you the reading at that time, okay? And so down here still telling you how many, what's the time it's already recording. Then you see it's already down to 250. And then, okay. And so right now I'm going to turn the isofluorine low again to that animal back to a little bit lighter of anesthesia. And do you see right now it starts to climbing up? And so you also see the image, it will bright up by itself. Okay, and then it shows that it stopped recording. Okay, then so let's look at what we can get from the recording. And so again, if it's this just laser Doppler, when it's done, right? Then, but if you're using laser speckle, it says it's calculating. So right now, the computer is processing. And so we have to wait a little bit when it's calculating that. And so basically, it's just capture multiple imagings. So for 2 minutes recording, it's probably take around 1,000 pictures, then doing the analysis. So that's almost done with the processing. Okay, and then when it's done, you can zoom out for the time axis. Now then, so that way you can see that the change of the blood vessel curve. And then you can also just save this as an Excel file. And then so you can replotting the curve whatever you want. And like I said, the best thing is you can put more ROI when you are analyzing the data. For example, oh, I'm now, what we are measuring about is on the territory of middle cerebral artery. And so if you are interested in somewhere more caudal like here, and so you can put one more area here, and then click on it, and then start. You see, you get one more ROI here to compare with the first two ROI you put in there. Okay, so that's amazing, right? Then so doesn't mean one animal, once you collect the data, you pretty much collect the whole thing of the brain in there, and then you can just add as many as area you want to analyze again, then you will see that. Okay, and then that's what I'm talking about. And when it's analyzing, when it's done, I'll show you what other output it can have. And so this is the best thing is that you really see what it's measuring, and you can really know if it's on top of one specific blood vessel or not. And for a laser Doppler, you would just get the curve, and you don't really know more detail about where that location is. Okay, so you see that. Then so if you want to analyze more area, that would be, it's doable. And then you can also export this to become a video file, or you can choose each single pictures. And so for 2 minutes recording, so one page is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one page is 24 imaging, and total it gets 36 pages. So that means somewhere around 800 pictures. Okay, then so if we choose the first one, and then we go to the last page, 36. And then choose the last one. And then you can convert that to a video. For example, I want it to go to 5 times faster. Okay, then we can save that somewhere. I'll just save that on the desktop, and it will start to generate the images. Okay, then while we are waiting, I'm going to switch to the scope view. Okay, then I'm going to attach the adapter for the laser Doppler. And for that, the first thing we need to do is we need to dry the skull. Otherwise, it won't stay well, okay? So I dry the skull, and you see after it dry, and then it's not really transparent anymore, okay? Okay, then now I'm going to switch back to the laser speckle. So it's done. And so if we go to, you see, so it's used 5 times speed to play the image that we get. So this allowed you to do a good presentation, because people like to really to visualize what's happening. And so that's the good thing of the laser speckle. Okay, so I'm going to put the laser speckle system to offline. Okay, then switch back to the scope view. Okay, so you see the skull is dry, and then this is the adapter we're using for holding the needle probe of a laser Doppler. So let me get it focused for you. Okay, then so you can see that it's a cone shape, and then the diameter is perfect for the needle probe we use. Okay, and then so for your experiment, it depends on what type of laser Doppler you're using. You might need a different adapter to fit perfectly for your laser Doppler. And for laser Doppler, it's very sensitive to light and angle and position. And so before, at the beginning, we just try to measure it by whole handing and measure that before surgery. And then do the surgery, finish that, then flip the animal back, then measure that again. And then you can imagine there's no way to keep the same spot and the same angle every time. So we developed this way so we can really put a probe on all the time. So we can use the laser Doppler to measure specific spots with the same angle all the time. Okay, then so what we're going to do is we're going to put this as close as to the edge. Okay, like that. And then we would apply just a tiny bit of instant glue. Can you guys still hear me well? Okay. Some instant glue. Okay, you don't want to over flood it. Okay, then after that, we're going to prepare some dental cement. So the dental cement we use get the powder and the polymizer liquids. So we have to mix both parts to make it like a patty. Okay, so we use the Q-tips rod to apply it like that. Okay, and you want to apply that gently. You don't want to block the hole or get anything in there that would interfere the laser Doppler. Okay, and it would take about 5 minutes to cure. And I'm not going to let you grab another coffee this time. So usually we do not really wait. Then we will just turn over the animal to start to work on its neck area. And then when we are done with that, it will be cured. Then we can insert the probe. Okay. And the dental cement does not hurt the tissue. So after that, we can just very easy to remove it, okay? And so I'm going to turn the animal to supine position. We'll rotate the animal. Let me zoom out for you and get focused. Okay, then you see that I keep the animal not really perfectly straight. And then so by this way, I can get a good angle so that I can insert the probe in there. And so let me see if I can show you where the probe, the adapter now. So you see it's down there. And so I can insert this in, okay? When it's cured, but not now though. So now if you insert that, you will peel it off. Okay, then let's clean it a little bit. Okay, then we will put the drape on. And I'll start, and you see the reading is on the top corner. It's somewhere around 400, right? Okay, so we adjust that to let it at the top. Okay, so that's the Doppler reading, and it's the baseline somewhere around 400. Okay, and so that's all you can get from laser Doppler. And you only know that it's probably in certain area, but you don't really know exactly is it on the top of a blood vessel or not. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is I'm going to temporarily clamp the common carotid artery. Then if the laser Doppler works well, then you should see a drop, okay? So I'm going to zoom in, find the blood vessel. Then do you see that deep? That's when I temporarily clamp the blood vessels, and so that means the laser Doppler works well, okay? And so I'm going to switch back to scope view. And zoom in. And keep working on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to put the filament in there. So here is the filament. You see that the length is 1 to 2 millimeter. Okay, and so we leave the filament there. And then next step is going to put 2 clamps on. The first one would be on the internal, and the second one would be on the common carotid. And then so when I put the clamp on the internal, we suppose should also see the drop of laser Doppler for the cerebral blood flow. Okay, so I'll use the plier, get the clamp. Then temporary clamp it. And then let's switch to laser Doppler to see if we see the dropping. You see that? And so for one side of clamping of internal carotid would drop, it's to drop 50% of that area of blood supply. Okay, then in mice, it's always like that. Then, but in rats, usually it will only drop like 10 to 15%. Okay, and so let it go like this so you see it better. Okay, and then switch back to scope view. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Yeah, because I think my AirPods run out of battery. Then it's okay. I'll speak a little bit louder so you still can hear me from the other camcorder. And okay, so now we're going to put this clamp on. Okay, then once you put this clamp on, then you should see the area that we are going to work with. There should be no pause at all. Okay, and then next step is ready for cut and opening. So, and you want partial cuts. If you cut it all the way, then the blood vessel will contract it, and you would not be able to do it. Okay, and then so after that, you would put the filament into the lumen like that. Okay, and then you can only put halfway. If you put all the way in, you won't be able to do the rotation. And okay, so you want to make this one tight, but not super tight yet. So halfway, like this. Okay, then once this is in, then we will release the clamp on internal carotid like that. Sorry, let me change this to here. Is that better for the sound? Okay. Okay, remember, just keep moisturize your tissue. Okay, then next step, you can cut the common, not common carotid, the external carotids totally. Okay, and then now we can rotate this down. And let the tip pointed to the head. And we want to loose this knot a little bit so we can insert this forward. But you don't want it too loose. If it's too loose, it will fall off. And this usually the most difficult part because you have to, and I think at the beginning, I kind of make the suture too short. And so right now it's become difficult to untie it, but I'm trying.
And you also don't want to push too hard on the suture because you might deform it. Okay, some progress. Okay, so it's in there. And then I will remove the clamp on common carotid artery. And then I start to push it in. Then I'll switch to the laser Doppler view. Okay, so when I reach there, we should see the huge drop. So you see that drop there? And so different animal would appear a little different. And so from this one, you see that right now it's somewhere around 140. Okay, and so the baseline is somewhere around here. Then it's dropped to here. Okay, and then from our experience, then once it's dropped, then that's it. And if it doesn't give you enough reduction, there's not much you can do about it. And no matter, even you try to insert more, it's not going to help at all. Okay, then so that's you see from 400 to 150. And so that's the middle cerebral artery occlusion. And then right now, I'm going to switch to, so we're going to leave the filament in there. And then we're going to remove the laser adapter. Then we do a laser speckle again to see how it looks like after the occlusion. So I'm going to switch to the scope view again. And so I'm going to remove the drape carefully. And remove the cap. So I'm going to rotate the animal. And let the animal down a little bit. And then I'm going to have the support to level its body a little bit. Okay. And we're going to just slide off this adapter like that. Okay, and you will see some residues of dental cement on it. And you can try to clean it, but it doesn't really affect the laser speckle too much. Okay, so clean it up a little bit. But usually if you are trying to do laser speckle, then you do not really glue this on. Okay, so we just try to do multiple procedure on the same animal. And so we'll make it a little bit more messy. And so let's rotate this. And then use the rejector. So we'll apply some saline on first to let it get some time to become transparent again. Okay, and then going to use a rejector to pull the skin away. We'll get this away. So some more fluid. More is better actually. Okay, and have one falling to the top. And if it's a terminal procedure for you, and actually you can even just trim off some skin to expose the area even more better. Okay, and then I'm just trying to combine this with MCAO with laser Doppler. Okay. Now rotate the head a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut the skin a little bit more open, so that might give us a better view. clean up a little bit, and more saline. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the laser speckle view. Okay, and then let's apply a little bit more saline on it. Okay, and let's get the real pattern view back, and let it focus. Okay, and then we will turn off the view, and then adjust the pseudo color threshold. And then we will zoom out a little bit. Be able to see the whole hemisphere. Okay, then so you can see that for this area, it's almost very low perfusion. So we can adjust the pseudo color threshold. To be able to see it better. Okay, and then you can apply to area. For example, here is the first one, and then you can draw another one on the contralateral side. For that, okay, and so something like that, and you can also move the area to somewhere else for doing that. Okay, so that's the procedure, and then I'm going to switch back to the scope view and to show you how to pull the filament out.
And meanwhile, you can think about if you have any questions, please put in the Q&A section, then I'll be able to answer your question in a minute. Okay. So you can see the filament here. So the first thing, you want to let it go out until you see the white part. Okay. And then you want to pull out part of it. So you want to loose the knot first. Just a little bit loose, but not really cause the bleeding until you can slide the filament out partially. Like that. And then you would hold the blood vessel. And meanwhile, you would clamp it. Okay, then so you get it done. Okay, then so I'm going to switch to the Q&A. So let's, well, we have 60 something questions. So let me switch to the camera. Okay, can you guys hear me clearly? Okay, so let's see what question we have.